this first of 2 Shakespeare masterclasses, Year 10 students from North London are starting on the play Othello for the first time. The activities I teach here are ways into any Shakespeare play. I leave the plot and the whole text until the second of these 2 masterclasses. It's only then that they will see a copy of the play. My aim in these introductory sessions is memorable learning. Keep it active, keep it fun, engage their curiosity. To do this, they learn key quotes, try writing a line of blank verse, and consider how a handkerchief might be used as a dramatic device. By the end of the activities, students should be intrigued by Shakespeare's use of language and story. Hopefully, in the second masterclass, they'll arrive eager for more. Okay. All right, everybody. You've all got a line from the play Othello by William Shakespeare. And we're just going to begin studying the whole play by looking at just that line. And that line is yours. You're going to make it yours. And the way you're going to do that is by learning it by heart. OK, so everybody, up on your feet, please. Have a look at your line and just come and walk all over the space. Walk around, because the way to learn a line is to say it under your breath while you're walking. So off you go. Let's hear a little bit of mumbling. Can I hear you saying it out loud? That's it. All right, now stop there, all of you. And when I count you down to 3, I want you to look up at the ceiling and shout your line out loud. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, shout it! Good, now start walking again, and this time a little bit faster. OK, I'm going to count you down, and then I just want Ryan to shout his line out as if it's hilarious. Stop.
Excellent expedition, catch my soul.
Excellent, keep going, a bit more jogging and rounding, OK? And Charlotte's next. She's going to say her line as if it's a secret. Stop.
I have. It's engendered. Had a night.
Fantastic. And keep going, running around. And the next person is going to be Mimi. Could you say it, please, as if it's a terrible secret?
Her father loved me, oft invited me.
Very good. OK, all of you, can you cut yourselves in half? Half of you over there, half of you over there. All right. You see what's down at your feet? Liam, what's that? What are you standing on?
Turkey.
Turkey. What are you standing on?
North Atlantic.
The North Atlantic. And who can jump into Italy? Thank you. Right, we've got Italy. Can anyone jump into Jessica, Mauritania? Mauritania. So we've got North Africa, and we've got Europe here and Turkey here. What's this bit? The Mediterranean. Right, that is where our play is set. Find somebody, take them by the hand, look in their eyes, and this time you're going to shake hands, and it's going to be really good news. You're so pleased to hear that your heart is burst and you've lost half your soul.
I have. It's engendered. Hell and night.
OK, Mimi and Sharmina, really good news.
Your heart is burst. You have lost half your soul. Her father loved me, oft invited me.
Lovely. Let's try Naz and Lauren. Really good news.
Oh, beware, my lord of jealousy.
But that I love, the gentle Desdemona.
Terrific. This time, we'll do it as if it's the most terrible news you've ever heard. Again, shaking hands, and I'm going to ask Khalid and Menhaj to start. Are you ready? So you look each other in the eye, you shake hands. It's terrible news. Go.
She turned to folly, and she was a whore.
The Moor was a free and open nature.
Lovely. What about you two? You're going to exchange bad news. OK, go.
Of one that loved not wisely but too well.
She has deceived her father, and me thee.
Lovely. Terrific. Can we have Sinead and Jean-Luc again? Can I just change you now, this time? Could you say it as if it's really a bit of a joke, OK? It's hilarious, actually, but you know you shouldn't really be laughing.
She loved me for the dangers I had passed.
I know not that, but such a handkerchief.
Terrific, excellent. Ryan and Lauren, would you like to step across Algeria and France and tell each other this really rather hilarious secret? Go.
Oh, beware, my lord of jealousy.
Excellent expedition, catch my soul.
Fantastic. All right, well done. Lovely. OK, just walk around now. You've got 1 more minute to learn your line. Make sure it's in your heart. Would you like to take a seat again, please, where you were before? Take your line with you, although it's in your head and in your heart, you don't really need to. Just put it under a cushion or something. Where am I standing? OK. And anyone heard of Mauritania before? No. Mauritania is where originally the Moors came from. And the Moors, for about 800 years, conquered the whole of North Africa and Spain and quite a bit of Europe. And Othello was a Moor, OK? But more about him later. Did you get the joke? Now, what we're going to do is you've learnt the line by heart, so it's in your head and it's in your heart. And Shakespeare wrote all of his plays in verse. OK, so verse is kind of poetry. But the verse that he wrote it in was called blank verse. Now, blank verse has its own rules. And the first thing to remember about blank verse is there is no rhyme. OK? So although his plays are in lines and those lines are poetry, there is no rhyme. The second rule to remember about blank verse is that it has a rhythm, a special key rhythm. And the rhythm is 10 beats to the line. OK? So if you just have a look at your lines and count whether there are 10 beats. Liam, read it out to us.
Killing myself to die upon a kiss. I think that's 10.
I think that's 10. Do you? Killing myself to die upon a kiss. Exactly 10. Who else has got 10? VJ. Could you just say it out to us and we'll count with you?
She has deceived her father and may thee.
That's tricky, isn't it? But it is 10. She has deceived her father and may thee. So, clever old Shakespeare, he's got 10 beats in almost all his lines. However, who has got a line without 10 beats?
But that I love the gentle Desdemona.
But that I loved the gentle Desdemona. Now, why, if he's so clever and knows that the rule is 10 beats to a line, why do you think Shakespeare might occasionally break the rule? Mimi, why do you think Shakespeare might occasionally break the rule?
It breaks up the pattern, so you have to breathe differently or a thought process is longer.
It's exactly that, Mimi. It means that you hardly notice it, but at a sort of almost subconscious level, you do. And your line was about love, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Could you read it again?
But that I love the gentle Desdemona.
And the whole thing about Othello is that his love for Desdemona, and even the word Desdemona, has lots of syllables. How many? Desdemona. 4. Most of our names have 2 syllables, or 1. 4 is very unusual. He can't... It's like even saying the name of this woman he loves trips him up. It makes him, as you say, it alters his thought processes, makes him breathe differently, changes his heartbeat. So, why would poets and dramatists write in iambic pentameter? Some have the idea that that rhythm of the 10 beats per line is the rhythm of the human heart. Can you hear it? And if you listen inside your own body, you can feel it. OK. However, the rhythm of the human heart doesn't stay the same. It's not regular, is it? It's like your lines, which sometimes trip. And it's like the lines which are sometimes short. Occasionally, have you ever felt your heart skip a beat? So here's one of your lines. Your heart is burst, you have lost half your soul. And it's got 10 syllables in it. Your heart is burst, you have lost half your soul. But it's not exactly dee-dum, 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 dee-dum. It has 5 stresses, 5 dumbs, but they come like this. Your heart is burst. You have lost half your soul. And just like the human heart, the rhythm sometimes skips a beat, sometimes it speeds, sometimes it slows, and sometimes it stops altogether. Now you've got all those lines inside you, you've learned them by heart, and you know the rules of blank verse. You know there's no rhyme. You know that it has a rhythm, iambic pentameter, 10 beats. So it should be fairly straightforward. We're going to try and write a line of iambic pentameter, OK? Which we hope we could just drop into this play by Shakespeare, and nobody would know that it wasn't his. Shall we see if we can do that? OK. And to do this, I've pulled out some ideas from the play, which are just written down in ordinary English. OK? So the ideas I'm going to give you are these, and you're going to get an envelope, and they'll be in there. The first idea is, I wouldn't trust her if I were you. You've got to turn that into a piece of Shakespeare. She was too loyal. I'll tell him lies. Othello's a wonderful man. I'm crazy about you. You've driven me to this. Bring me my hanky or else. OK, so those are the ideas, and I'd like you now to get into threes, just move around, find a space, clipboard, pen. Here's your idea. OK, one of you come and get the envelope, please. Thank you. Can you catch? Good. Who'd like an envelope? Anybody? Here it comes. Whoops. Anybody? Come and get an envelope. You're going to try and drop it into Othello. You've driven me to this. Let's have some first ideas. You trust. You see what I mean? You can change this.
But trusting her would leave thy heart towards me.
So you might need to start sort of rearranging the order of the words. You might even want to leave the word trust out.
His glow was that of a burning candle.
Oh, that's good.
Or you could start it with, like, thou or something.
OK, you could say thou. Thou hast. Or it doesn't even have to be you. You could have I. I am... Don't worry too much about the thous. Trusting her could leave you... The kind of feel of that line, what is it? Is it...
Aggressive.
It's a bit aggressive, yes. Tell me what ideas you've come up with. Right, I'm going to stop you now. And we're going to see what you've come up with. Shall we see what it is that you've got? So who had the idea, I wouldn't trust her if I were you? All of you go up with him. Don't leave him on his own. So this is, I wouldn't trust her if I were you. Read it out to us.
Our heart would break if you believe in her.
Thou heart would break if you believe in her. Is that 10?
Thou heart would break if you believe in her. Yeah.
OK, you've chosen the 10. And that's got the meaning exactly. Shall we look at what Shakespeare chose? Shakespeare wrote, she has deceived her father and may thee. Exactly the same rhythm as yours. She has deceived her father and may thee. A little bit more plot in there, so we're beginning to get a picture, aren't we? Somebody had, I'll tell him lies. OK, would you like to read yours out to us? I'll tell him lies.
Truth his mind shan't take, therefore I deceive.
Talk us through that.
The person's mind won't take the truth, so that's why they lie.
Ah, that is pretty complicated. Truth his mind shan't take, therefore I deceive. And you have to get the emphasis in the right place. I was saying it the wrong way when I first saw it. I was saying, truth his mind shan't take, therefore I deceive. But actually it's truth his mind shan't take, therefore I deceive.